Three, two, one, action. Welcome back to episode 60 of As Seen on Screen. I'm Gracie.
And I'm Nicole, and we're your source for entertainment news, reviews, conversations, and more.
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube.
Well, welcome back to another week of the show. We're so happy you're here. There is so much to go over today, specifically because we're recording this August 20th. It is the release day of episode 7 of The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3. And Gracie and I have been on well all day. So we're so ready to chat about all of it. We're also chatting about Taylor Swift and some upcoming trailer and first look releases at movies and TV shows. So let's jump straight into it. Let's just start off with Summer I Turned Pretty because you know what? We have so much to talk about. I know we have a full debrief coming in here. If you haven't watched episode 7 of The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3, major
Do
spoiler.
not listen to anything we're saying.
We are about to dish all about episode 7, so just skip ahead to when we're not talking about this at all. But let's start off with something Gracie and I were just talking about briefly, the We Can't Be Friends flashback. There's a scene of Belly during their bachelorette bar crawl in the Tiki Bar, and she has a full flashback of all the moments of her and Conrad that we've seen throughout the show to Ariana Grande's We Can't Be Friends. Oh my gosh.
Unwell. Unwell number one. Like, it's the way we have a count of how many times we've been attacked this episode. Um, you know that TikTok sound where it's like count one, guilty.
Yes.
Count literally how I felt watching this episode because I will be sending Jenny Han my therapy bill because the wave of emotion I got watching this episode, 1 minute I was pure joy. The last 20 minutes, never been more upset. The We Can't Be Friends flashback that Nicole just talked about, I thought it was so beautifully done. I was not expecting it, which love to be surprised. Um, but it just shows like you have that many good memories with someone to that song specifically saying we can't be friends. What else are you gonna be?
Well, and I loved it too because it came off kind of the coattails of everything that was happening with Steven and Denise and Taylor. We had just seen the scenes of Taylor telling Denise to go text Steven and then kind of a little thing with them. So it almost tied in very well to both those situations because what we've seen in this full season is that Steven and Taylor also, despite how hard they're trying, are not good
Cannot be
at
friends.
being friends. They
They
cannot be
cannot
friends
be
either.
friends.
And you know
You
who
know
else
what?
can't be friends? Laurel and John.
Oh, no one can be friends, apparently. There's never been a friendly thing in it. Even, you know what? I feel kind of skeptical saying this, but I have a hunch. You know who also can't be friends?
Who?
Jeremiah and Redbird. Something is not something's not friend like there. Something is giving me he's gonna realize he fucked up with Belly and he's gonna go to Redbird.
You know what? I don't hate that theory because I feel like TikTok, a lot of people on social media would agree with you.
Number two, Redbird is just so good looking.
Oh,
Like the
he is.
actor, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
The character, horrible.
Redbird, not a great person. Actor,
Character,
great.
the actor, great person. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like nobody, I don't know what's in the water, but like no one can be friends.
I just think you know what? I don't hate the Laurel and John thing. I just sometimes it feels, not sometimes, we've only really seen it twice in this season, and it feels somewhat unnecessary. I get how it kind of tied in more during the first episode when we saw that, because that tied in with Laurel not getting to Steven as quickly following the accident. But
Mhm.
this time, I mean, obviously, I think it's going to grow into something bigger into these last few episodes, and it's going to ramp up a bit or something. It just felt random in this episode. There was so much going on in this episode, it just felt like a very random subplot to kind of just throw in there, and then we didn't see them again for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I also just feel like Laurel's going through a lot because Adam brought Kaylee.
That's a whole other debate on its own. I
I don't
hate
even want
that
to talk about
so much. You know what? If you were Kaylee, like, first of all,
how
don't be a Kaylee.
stupid do you think
Don't
they
don't be
are?
Kaylee. Second of all, why would you go like it's just the whole situation. It's like how dense can you be? Why do you
It's
think anyone wants you there besides I guess Adam?
it's the way that like her and Adam are so oblivious to the fact that everybody else has figured it out. Like you're not secretive.
Like, I just, who are you fooling? Who are you
But, but also, even if they didn't know, what made you think it's a good idea to go to his dead ex-wife's favorite place in the world for her son's wedding?
Who
If
knows?
2 + 2 is 4. Anyway, speaking of more songs that really hit,
Oh my gosh.
I felt so attacked. Number two, because Love of My Life and Robin by Taylor Swift.
The Tortured Poets department was popping off today. And I have not, I've had Love of My Life on repeat all day.
And you know what? I don't like it because, hear me out. I love Taylor Swift. Love that she's coming back now that Conrad's back in the picture. Love it. But I also don't like the fact that Love of My Life also stands for Loss of My Life. That should not be playing while Conrad is on the screen.
Well, and it was playing with the loss of my life part.
I know. Like, no, no. Other part.
No,
Other
no.
part. Like this man
But
absolutely poured his heart out to the love of his life. And she had the audacity to be like, you don't know me like Jer knows me. Like, girl, like his mom was dying and he forgot to get you a corsage. I think we can look past that for the fact that the other version literally cheated on you twice, is smoking weed inside the house when you told him not to smoke weed, but also don't smoke weed inside the house. You told him not to get drunk, and what does he do? Get blackout drunk. Like, you gotta pick evils here. One is way better than the other.
I feel so torn about this because I keep thinking what I would like. I'm trying to put myself in Belly's shoes kind of to think about this logically. And this is the thing. I agree that she shouldn't have been so hard on Conrad when everything was going through with prom and everything when Susanna was dying and stuff. But it's understandable why she's scared to kind of let herself fully be in love with him again.
100%.
Because what we saw last time at the motel when he kind of confessed his love again at night and the next morning, he was like, no. Like he kind of takes it
Understandable.
away. So we understand the thought process behind Conrad's actions more than what like Belly's trying to make sense of it herself. So I understand why in that moment on the beach when Conrad's fully confessing his love to her, she's conflicted because what would you do if your fiance's brother that you're madly in love with confesses? You would say yes. I would say yes.
And the
But
wedding.
I just
I
think
love that you were expecting a different answer. We're both like, and the wedding.
but I'm just like I don't I like it's fair on one hand for her to be like, why would you do this now?
Yes, but she didn't need to be so harsh.
No, she was so
But
mean.
also, you could blame that on the alcohol because we all know she cannot handle her liquor. So maybe that was
I
giving her a bit more confidence than she really needed.
well,
Um,
and from what I was reading too on TikTok, more from the book side of it, like I think in a lot of cases this season, we're missing Belly's inner monologue and her
mhm,
inner thoughts throughout this because we're not necessarily hearing her narrate anything. And so, from what I gather from the book readers, is that during that scene, she was trying to make it more harsh so that Conrad will
mhm.
stop loving her because she's convincing herself so harshly to be in love with Jer and to fall out of love with Conrad, even though we know that's not going to happen. So, she's trying to, I think, just subconsciously push him away, right? But it was just so mean. And I just, oh,
He
oh my God, all the parallels to the season two beach scene of them standing
literally,
there and her sobbing, and then to this one of him sobbing. Oh, I can't do it.
at
I
this
can't.
point,
I
I'm
can't.
team Conrad goes away and finds peace
Yep.
because he ain't finding peace with anyone here. Like the only reason I want him and Belly to be together, and we were saying this, is so that he's happy. But other than that, Belly girl, go to therapy, stay single, get away from these two brothers, fix yourself.
One scene I actually did want to talk about in specific is the scene we see in the bar when the guys are on their bar crawl. And Jer basically, he's sitting beside Conrad and he's like, I want to thank you for all that you've done, for always taking care of me. And Conrad's basically like, yeah, of course, man, I'm your brother. And he's like, no, but it's not just that. You always take care of everyone. And, you've taken care of Belly all summer, but we're getting married now, so you don't have to do that anymore. We're going to take care of each other. But you can tell because he could see and was observing that Conrad and Belly have grown closer over the course of the summer that he feels threatened by it. And I mean, rightfully so, as he should. But I think that was a very interesting scene because JR is finally catching on that his feelings clearly are not gone as he maybe thought they were, and maybe thought that he was no longer a threat. Clearly, he still sees him as so. And it's interesting to see how he was kind of confronting him like that inadvertently in front of everyone.
But that's also what happens when you're a horrible boyfriend that ignores your fiance for an entire summer and leaves her with her first love, which just happens to be your brother. So, whose fault is this really?
I think that's on Jer. Let's talk about the unicorn scene because that flashback scene was so cute, and that's when Robin was playing. And it's just another way to show that Conrad's always there for Belly and he always has her best interest at heart. And Jared does not necessarily exude those character traits.
You know what? It really gives Conrad bought her a unicorn when she was a kid. Like, he probably didn't have the means to buy that, but he bought it. Jer wanted the wedding gift to be Smirnoff Ice and weed.
When he pulled that out of the car, I thought nothing. I just shook my head in disappointment, actually.
She said, "Are we gonna ice our guests?" He said, "No, sir. If you think that is okay to do at a wedding, you should not be getting married." Can we talk about what really pissed me off? He was talking to Conrad about how Adam offered him a full-time position. And then Conrad's like, "Oh, you're not going to take it." And he's like, "I'm 21. I don't know what I want." You don't know what you want, but you know you want to get married?
You know what pissed me off even more about that is that you're telling me Jared's gonna finish off his last semester online, so he'll have like night courses, whatever courses, and
Belly could have gone to
working
Paris.
full time, but Belly can't be going to Paris. Sure, because that makes sense.
You know, Conrad hasn't even found out why she said no to Paris yet. He just knows that she's not going. You know what pissed me off? The fact that Conrad didn't absolutely beat the shit out of Jeremiah when he found out he cheated.
His face,
He was about to, but of
yeah,
course Jeremiah's puking, so he's like, "Oh, I'll be a brother." No, beat him up.
you be a brother and teach him a lesson.
You know what made me want to beat everyone up?
What?
Was the dance practice.
I, the whole time, I just was staring at okay, Conrad when the guys were dancing and Steven because Steven's a diva and Steven was eating it up. Conrad looked like he wanted to just leave everything. Just goodbye.
Stephen can do no wrong. Stephen ate that up, left no crumbs. But the rest of it, even the girls' dance, I was sitting there like visibly
And
cringing. I
the
was
way
like,
Taylor's like, "Don't you want to go viral?"
and they're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh,
Why
didn't pass
are
the vibe
they
check."
choreographing? Why are they choreographing dances for the wedding is my question.
There's like that part in the wedding where they do a little dance, but they don't need to do like a huge dance, but they're making it a huge
It's
dance.
just it's a lot.
I felt uncomfortable.
I feel violated.
That
And
was the
I
one part we were like, "No."
And why were Jer and Steven both making eye contact with Denise? I get why Steven was, because, they have their flirty situation. Why did Jer keep making eye contact with
I
Denise
also don't like how Jared keeps saying like how hot Denise and like all
Monica
Belly's
is?
friends are. Like,
Yeah.
sir,
Stay in your lane, sir. I just want to talk about the very last scene where we see Belly knocking on the wall. Because again, another look into the fact that she's looking for comfort and she's looking for Jared to give her that same safety net and comfort that Conrad gives her. So he knocks on the wall like we see in the first season when she knocks on the wall with him. And of course he doesn't
he's
answer.
knocked out.
He's passed out. I'm not sure why she thought he was going to answer, but I think it was more of just like a
Delusion.
yeah. And of course he doesn't answer. But you know who would answer?
Conrad.
I think, Conrad girls have really gone through it this season and the whole show, might I add. Because the first season, we had the whole back and forth, and then of course they end up together the very last scene of the show. Fast forward to season two. We get nothing of them in real time. It's all just flashbacks, so they're never actually together besides what we get in a flashback scene. Now, this season, it's been her and Jer the whole season, and then we get teeny tiny little teasers of it. And then she said, episode 7, let me just tear your heart out of your body and stomp
You
on it.
know, after all of that, I would hope that Conrad would be like, no, I can do better. But I know he's so in love with her that like as soon as she realizes she's wrong, he'll be like, okay. I would
Just
love for him to reject her when she finally realizes she messed up, but I know he will not.
I just am scared for the next 4 episodes. We're down, can you believe we're down to 4 episodes?
I'm concerned.
I'm scared and I'm so sad it's ending. Now that it's like actually winding down, because I kept thinking we have so much left of this show still. Like there's so many episodes left. We're down to 4.
Jenny Han, count your days because my therapy bills are about to be piling up.
And I'm very excited to see what other music they pull out. I sent Gracie a TikTok. Someone on TikTok said that they should use Begin Again, which is one of my all-time favorite Taylor Swift songs. In the end of the show, if Belly does end up in Paris and Conrad's there with her because we know they filmed there, I will die. If that makes it in, I will love Jenny Han more than I already do.
I'm praying for Speak Now.
Yeah. I'm just so curious on how, again, we haven't read the book, so if anyone listening has read the books, I know we probably should know this, but we haven't read the books. I'm just so curious on how the wedding is going to play out if we even make it to a wedding. You know? I'm on the edge of my seat. They have me locked in. I'm seated. Seated. Well, speaking of Taylor Swift so much as we have been in this segment, we have not done one of our news episodes in quite a few weeks as we've been doing some other coverage. So, let's finally talk about Taylor Swift's massive announcement that happened a little while back. She has announced that her new album, dun, 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 The Life of a Showgirl, is releasing on October 3rd. If you've been keeping up with the news, which I'm hoping all the Swifties have been, she's been on the New Heights podcast. We've seen different album and vinyl editions of the new album. There was the Shiny Bug collection earlier this week. And then we also have the 3 or 4 other variants that she released at the same time as the announcement of the album. Gracie, what are we thinking? What are we feeling?
I'm I'm unwell. I sent
That's the
you
theme of the week.
the theme of the past few weeks has been unwell. Let's be so for real. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting from the countdown. I had a feeling it was gonna be a album because you know Taylor, she loves a good countdown. The funniest thing though was the second countdown she did. Because what do you mean she did a full countdown just to show off a hot picture of her?
I love it.
You know what? I don't blame her. If I look like that, I would do it too. But the fact that it was so out of nowhere, like the other variants didn't get anything. She was just like, here's the variants. This variant, she's like, okay, we're gonna do a countdown. I was like, the freak out I had, I literally texted Nicole and I was like, what is going on? I don't understand. And then she's like, surprise variant. And I was like, oh, I'm not mad. I love a good variant. I find it so funny that she teased these variants when Midnight's was a thing. Yeah, I'm just excited to see what this album holds. Obviously she didn't make it with Jack Antonoff, so it'll be a different sound, but she's worked with Max before in the past. So I'm very excited to see what they create for this. So far, the aesthetic is killer. Like, I
I
really
am
hope
in
we get
love.
at least one music video because she's eating up all of these outfits. I'm excited for The Life of a Showgirl, the song with Sabrina Carpenter, which is crazy. I have a feeling that's gonna be a single, which I thought the countdown was gonna be. There's just lots of theories right now. She says that there's not gonna be a deluxe edition or anything. So we'll see if that remains true. I'm so overwhelmed with knowledge and like the New Heights podcast being Taylor yapping for almost 2 hours was the craziest experience of my life. Like obviously she's a normal person, but like Taylor Swift on a podcast talking about just normal things for 2 hours is something I never thought I would experience in my lifetime. Like it seems so monumental.
It was so cute and so exciting to listen to. I loved all the social media clips we got of it and just keeping up with that. But let's talk about, you said The Life of a Showgirl, obviously with Sabrina Carpenter. That's track 12. Let's talk about the whole track list. So there's 12 tracks in total. Going
Wow.
from top to bottom, we got The Fate of Ophelia, Elizabeth Taylor, Opalite, Father Figure, Eldest Daughter, Ruin the Friendship, Actually Romantic, Wish List, and as she said in the New Heights podcast, with the S's as dollar signs, Wood, Cancelled, Honey, and The Life of a Showgirl with Sabrina Carpenter. And as I put on my TikTok
I
when
think
this
we're
came out,
both claiming track
Eld
five.
Eldest Daughter is going to ruin me. I'm just preparing for that now.
I have a feeling I don't think it will be, but it would be so funny if it was like I could do it with a broken heart where we're like, this is the saddest song, but the most upbeat piece of music we've ever heard. I love when she does that. I think it's so funny. Like, here's the most gut-wrenching lyrics I've ever made, but make it poppy.
Enjoy.
Go to the club, dance, be depressed. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I love that her album titles are getting longer, but then the song names are getting shorter.
I know, right?
I'm like, dang. Like it's so funny to see all the acronyms that people are like, because you have the Torture Poets Department, which is TTPD.
Yeah.
And now we have this one, and everybody's like TLOAS. And
Well,
I'm
I love the
like,
people on TikTok, the people that are like, can we please just call this the Showgirl instead of making it an acronym?
I'm like showgirl, life of a showgirl, even if you just get rid of the
Yeah,
like I just find it so funny. And it's like when they do those acronyms for her songs that are really long, and they're like, if you can figure this out, you're a real Swiftie. And somehow I always know what it is. But
you're just too good, is what I'm hearing.
no, you know when you look at something, you're like, yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even song lyrics where you're like, or my favorite is the acronym for All Too Well 10-minute version
Yeah.
from the vault, Sad Girl Autumn. And it's like the longest letters. And you're like, what is this? And then you take a minute and you're like, wait, I know.
And then you have a moment of reflection where you're like, why do I know this?
Yeah, a lot of the time I'm like, I can't remember simple things. Can't remember things when I'm studying for stuff. But that Taylor Swift song from 15 years ago, word for
Absolutely.
word.
Bar
And you
for
know what?
bar.
I saw totally off topic, but I saw a news thing, a news article that a Taylor Swift fan couldn't remember the lyrics to one of her songs. So she went to the doctor because she was like, I can't remember the lyrics to the song I've known all my life. What the hell is going on? Moral of the story, every time I forget a Taylor Swift lyric, I'm like, I need to go to the doctor.
But I cannot believe that she recorded this. I mean, I can because it's Taylor Swift, but she
We
wrote,
say I can't, but like,
I can.
that's for a normal person.
It's totally plausible. But she wrote all of The Life of a Showgirl during the Europe leg of the Eras tour. When does she sleep?
But you know, when she does, she sleeps well.
Yeah, like she's got to be getting a good sleep when she actually has time to lay her head down because that's just crazy.
My question for you. Do you think she will be the Super Bowl halftime performer?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
I do not. I don't think she's very upfront, and she even said it in the New Heights podcast about supporting Travis in his career and like wanting to go on New Heights to show support for his career and like all that kind of stuff. I just don't see her doing that because I feel like that would just be the only thing anyone's talking about. You know what I mean? When it comes to the Super Bowl. And if the trend continues that we've seen in very many years past of the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, I think the spotlight would fully just be on her. You know what I mean? Like maybe not
Yeah,
necessarily for diehard NFL fans. I get that. Sport is the sport. But in the grand scheme of the news and media and lots of people, it will just be kind of on her. And I think she wouldn't want to do that in like regards to kind of stepping on toes in his career. Like I don't necessarily think he would view it like that or that he would not want her to, but I don't think she would, just from based off of how she's spoken about how she feels in supporting Travis.
I keep seeing everybody be like, oh, she's gonna be the Super Bowl halftime performer. Number one, I don't know if they'd be able to afford her. And I feel like I'm not even saying that in a rude way, but like, look at how much she is worth. That's a crazy amount for like what, a 15-10 minute show? Like that's crazy. Number two, I feel as though I fear if she were to be the halftime performer, there would be no football fans there because the
Yeah.
Swifties would go crazy and
Girl.
they would do anything in their power to get those tickets because obviously you want to go see Taylor Swift. Why not? There would be no room for football fans. And I feel that is what the Super Bowl is for. So that would be concerning. And also, like, she hasn't done it all these years. She's been very upfront about like she doesn't feel the need to do it. But also with Travis, there's not really a point to do it. Like that's his place. She has her place, he has his place. Leave it at that. I do feel as though the Easter eggs that fans are coming up with are a bit far-stretched. Like we all know now, she's obsessed with sourdough. Everybody's saying, "Oh, sourdough Sam." The teams for the Super Bowl haven't even been announced yet. Like we haven't even gone into football season. What does Sourdough Sam have to do with anything?
I just agree with you that I don't think she will do it, at least not at this point in time. Maybe in the future.
When he retires, maybe, but like
Yeah.
still, I doubt it.
I just don't think she would. I don't know if I have a concrete reason for that besides what I said, but I just don't
Yeah,
feel like that's something she would do at this point in time.
based off of previous experiences with Taylor Swift, I feel as though this is not something she would do.
My parasocial relationship with Taylor Swift tells me.
Based off of our relationship with our bestie Taylor Swift, we know this is not something in her field.
Yep. Yep.
Slay for loving sourdough girl. Like, I love that she's making it for the girls. I think that's
Yeah.
so cute. I love that she's taught them that cats aren't poisonous.
That had me giggling.
I love how normal she feels. Like, you can tell she feels very comfortable. And her and Travis both bring themselves as people to the relationship, not like who they are as celebrities. So I think that's very nice for both of them.
I just love how loudly he loves her. I think that's visible through what we see.
Also, shout out to him for learning big words. So she's able to say, "You're so pretty."
Yay! So that's the news for Taylor Swift. The Life of a Showgirl, her new upcoming album, is out
Well, shut up
October
now.
3rd.
Moving away from Taylor Swift and The Summer I Turned Pretty, we have new photos of Nobody Wants This season two, which is coming out October 23rd. I still have not watched the first season, so I am very behind on this.
You
Um,
haven't? I did not know this. Oh my gosh.
Girl, I've told you.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't know that. Oh,
You could have assumed. Be real.
I'm
Um,
so excited. That's okay. It's
so
okay. You have time. You have time.
I do have time. I have until October 23rd. I love the cast. But what do you think about these photos?
I love it. I feel like I need to do a rewatch of season one right before season two comes out so I can get it fresh in my mind, everything, all the events that happened of season one. But I love the picture of them cuddled up on, look, I don't know if that's the couch or the bed. I think it's the bed, watching on the laptop. Like they're just giving such live-in couple now. I love it. They look so cozy with each other. I mean, just even the chemistry between the girls is so funny now that I mean, obviously the two sisters and then the sister-in-law kind of idea. They have hopefully gotten a little bit closer going into season two, which I'm excited about. So I'm very curious to see on what the whole plot of this season goes into, because obviously season one was getting comfortable around everyone, seeing if their relationship even worked, kind of overcoming those barriers of no one not wanting this. No, I was gonna say no one wanting them together. I was like, oh, that's the title. So I'm intrigued to see what barriers and roadblocks kind of stand in their way this season, what's gonna happen with them. But it's just such a cute, feel-good rom-com show. I loved season one, and I'm so grateful. I think we talked about this specifically with this show before, but how fast the turnaround was from season one's release last year to already coming out with season two this October. That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Thank goodness.
She said, bring back getting new seasons quickly.
Listen, when you have 10 episodes, that's not very much.
There's no excuse at this. Like, and I mean this with so much love, but look at how long it has taken for us to get the last season of Stranger Things.
Well, they've filmed like 8 movies, so.
I literally don't even remember what happened.
I need to rewatch season 4 because before this comes out, I couldn't tell you any of the side plots of season 4.
I just remember Eddie playing guitar with all the bats.
I was literally graduating high school when the last season came out, and now I will be halfway through my senior year of university when this comes out. Guys,
Same.
guys.
Long story short, bring back quick turnaround times.
Yeah, I concur. And last up on our news list today, let's chat about the trailer for Regretting You, which is hitting theaters October 24th. Regretting You is the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel of the same name. You've read this book, have you not?
I have not read this. I have this book.
We found a Colleen Hoover she hasn't read.
I'm going to read it before the movie comes out. I don't know how I feel about it.
This is true, but you know what? The trailer really sold me. I liked the
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah, but I know that Colleen Hoover does cover darker and more like depressing
Mhm.
topics,
Yes.
which obviously can affect the cast and can affect the crew just with what it's talking about and being on that set for so long. So I do hope it was better run than previous ones. Um, but I love the entire cast. I think the casting is great from what we've seen. I thank this movie for giving us McKenna Grace and Mason Thames. That's pretty much all I have to say about it right now. This trailer does look really good, though. I will give them that. Um, yeah, I need to read the book before I really have like an opinion. But I do know from the last one, they did change quite a bit from the book. So I'm wondering how much of this they're going to change from the book.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
That's why I'm like, do I read it? Do I not read it?
For anyone who hasn't seen the trailer or read the book, this is the official description with the trailer. Based on the best-selling book Regretting You, introduces audience to Morgan Grant, who is portrayed by Allison Williams, and her daughter Clara, which is McKenna Grace, as they explore what's left behind after a devastating accident reveals a shocking betrayal and forces them to confront family secrets, redefine love, and rediscover each other. Regretting You is a story of growth, resilience, and self-discovery in the aftermath of tragedy, also starring Dave Franco and Mason Thames, with Scott Eastwood and Willa Fitzgerald. You know what? It does look good. I'm very intrigued. Like you said, I am loving the content we've gotten from McKenna Grace and Mason Thames from this, like the TikToks they posted when they were on set. I mean, they seem so sweet together from the pictures that we see. I mean, this cast is great too. I love Willa Fitzgerald. Obviously, Scott Eastwood is great. Dave Franco and Allison Williams. It's such a great cast. So I'm really intrigued to see how they pull that all together. But like I said, I was interested from the trailer. The trailer did kind of sell me on it. So I am excited for this one to come out.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. You know, she writes good content despite it being dark. I'm excited to see Verity when it comes out.
True. You know what? Actually, I'm also excited for this movie because McKenna Grace, of course, has been around since she was really little, and we've seen her in so many roles. And I feel like this is really the first adultier role that we've seen her in the sense where this is like she's a main love interest. She clearly has this with Mason Thames, their characters are together in this relationship. Like you said, the movie deals with darker themes. So I am excited to kind of see this transition of her stepping into these more quote unquote adult roles because when the first poster came out in the trailer, everyone was like, isn't it kind of weird for Mason Thames, McKenna Grace to be the focal point of that poster and he has her in her arms and they're kissing and everyone was kind of thrown off by it, I guess. So I think that kind of goes to show how this is her first step into a more main adult role in her career, and I'm really excited to see her take that on because I mean, we've said this, I love her as an actress, so I think she'll be great in the role.
Younger girls fear McKenna Grace in an audition room. But you know, she's also she just released a trailer for
Anniversary!
Anniversary, yes, which I also feel is an adultish role as well
Yes!
because darker themes, kind of a horror, but like based off of adults. So I think she's killing it right now with stepping out of like the child like era of acting and making her way into more adult films.
Let's talk about the cast quickly for anniversary, because now that we've brought it up, it's going into theaters a week after Regretting You on October 29th. The cast for this film is Diane Lane, Kyle Chandler, Madeline Brewer, Zoe Deutsch, Phoebe Dynevor, McKenna Grace, Dale McCormick, and Dylan O'Brien. That is a stacked cast, and this looks good, as we all know. I love me a good thriller, a good like kind of mystery thriller, edge of your seat, psychological game. And that's exactly what this looks like. And I love Phoebe as an actress. Fair Play a few years ago. That was at TIFF. That's another kind of more like a not quite psychological, but more of a thriller in that aspect. And she killed that role. So I'm really excited to see her and kind of Diane Lane have this face off in this movie anniversary.
I'm always here for Dylan O'Brien. I feel like we don't see him on screen as much anymore. So
Mhm.
anytime we do see him, I'm like, okay,
You have me seated.
yeah, pretty much. It brings me back to like the Maze Runner days, you know?
Life is good.
Life was simple.
Well, that's what we have for news this week. So let's move in to our watch of the week. Our first one we have to chat about, thanks to our friends at Prime Video Canada, is The Map That Leads to You, which came out yesterday, Wednesday, August 20th, starring Madeline Klein and KJ Apa. So let's chat about it because we had a chance to watch it before its release. And you know what? KJ Apa and Madeline Klein are built for romance movies. Their
Mhm.
chemistry, they were just exuding chemistry throughout this movie. And I mean, you have this story that's such a whirlwind romance. Basically, Madeline Klein is on a backpacking trip with her two friends in Europe before she starts her new job in New York City, and she meets KJ Appa's character, Jack, and they kind of have this whirlwind romance over the course of 2 weeks before events kind of force their story to continue. But it's everything happens so quickly that it's one of those movies where it's like they build up such love for each other and then you're like, oh wait, they've only known each other for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So their chemistry is off the charts. There's so many lines. I wrote a few specific ones down that KJ Appa's character Jack talks about, and there's one I really loved where he goes, I really believe your thoughts help create your future. Then he continues to say, the universe or God, or whatever you want to call it, wants for us what we want for ourselves. So all we have to do is think it as often and as hard as we can. And I really loved that line. I thought that was really good. His delivery of it was great. And Madeline's character, Heather, brings it back up again later on in the movie. So it kind of felt like a full circle moment. But I thought that was just such a beautiful line. So that one really stuck with me.
You know, there's so many good summer romance movies, and I feel like it's fitting that it came out now with it being the end of the summer. You're kind of looking back at everything. Their chemistry was great. Madeline's just been killing it this summer in general. So it's nice to see her doing a bit more of like a lighthearted movie, as opposed to like a horror or a thriller. I did find it cheesy, but like to be expected, you know. There was good dialogue, like you said, there's a lot of quotable moments, but there are also times where you're like, when would someone ever say that in real
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
There's a lot of coincidences that they try and play off of, I
Mhm.
felt, which, you know, works for the type of movie it is, but I feel like if you want it to be more relatable, then you have to kind of ease off of those a bit. Other than that, I thought the story was great. You know, no one's ever going to complain about European backdrops and living life to the fullest with a gorgeous female and male lead. Like, it's what dreams are made of. But yeah, it definitely has its downfalls, but overall pretty strong for a romance movie. I mean, it's coming right off of like My Oxford Year on
Mhm.
Netflix. So we're having all of these new like traveling type romance films, which I think is really nice.
I thought the movie was very visually stunning. They do
Oh
a
yeah.
really, really great job of bringing the vibrance out of
Mhm.
the European backdrops that they use. But I will say, I just felt like the character development wasn't quite there. Neither was the plot progression, truly. And that's kind of where
Mhm.
it faltered for me. I will, like I said, KJ Apa and Madeline Klein had great chemistry, and that really helped me like their characters and like the romance between them, but I don't feel that their characters or any of the other characters in the movie were we didn't dive deep enough into
Mhm.
them individually, and we didn't dive deep enough into the plot of the story. It just kind of focused very much on this central trip across Europe and what they did while they were there. And then the events kind of that followed that kind of just
Dwindle.
were very surface level. And so I
Yeah,
didn't think I could buy truly into their story the way that I needed to for it to work for me.
yeah.
But I did enjoy their chemistry that they shared and the romance between the two characters and seeing all these beautiful spots that they used to film in. And so for that reasons, I enjoyed it. And I agree, there's so many different romance movies that have come out this summer, so many great ones on streaming platforms. This one, I just didn't feel like the story was fully developed as it should have been, maybe.
As you said before, I think the quotable moments kind of brought it back for me,
Yeah,
but it feels kind of strange having like this absolute heart-wrenching quote and then being like, okay, here's a surface level
yeah.
thing to go with it. Like one of the ones I liked was some of the most beautiful things come from the worst moments, just being like brushed over. So I think if we had more of a mixture of like going deeper into these quotes and like actually finding out the people who are saying them,
Hmm.
as opposed to just being like, this person knows this really heart-wrenching quote. Next thing, then it would have been a bit better for me. But yeah, overall, it's a romance film. You know, you and I are always sat for the cheesy rom-coms.
Of course, always. So the map that leads to you is now streaming on Prime Video.
Moving on, Nicole, what was your song of the week?
That is always such a loaded question for me, and
Ugh. The past few weeks we've had a lot.
I actually am gonna have to choose a song off Bailey Zimmerman's new album,
I'm
Same Night,
shocked.
Different Rodeo. You know me. I stick with what I know. There's a
Shocked.
few ones that I really, really love off the new album, which are At the Same Time. I love his collab with the Kid Laroi, Lost. And I
Mm.
also love the song Ashes, which also features Diplo. Those three, I think,
Mhm.
are my faves off the new album. They've been on repeat for quite a bit. And I will say specifically today, going back to earlier, my song of the day is Loss of My Life or Love of My Life, however you want to say it. I literally have listened to it 20 times today. And maybe that says something about my emotional state today.
Yeah, that's fair.
What is your song of the week?
As you also said, Different Night, Same Rodeo has been on repeat since it came out. I really like Happy Ever After Me,
That's a really good one too.
even though I can barely say it. The other artist I have been obsessed with, and Nicole can vouch for this very much, is Cameron Whitcomb. What an iconic guy. What an absolute firecracker of a person.
What a firecracker. Wow.
Like, tell me that's not the way he is, though, on stage.
Oh, 100% it is.
As Taylor Swift would say, he's the human exclamation mark. I really like Medusa, but I've been vibing with Gasoline and Matches lately.
Mm,
It's
another
just been
good one.
like on repeat. He's just got so many good songs, and I feel like seeing him at Boots and Hearts really sold his catalog for me.
Well, those are our songs of the week. Let's move in to our last segment. As always, our upcoming releases. Starting off with tomorrow, August 22nd, Long Story Short is on Netflix.
Also on August 22nd, we have Invasion Season 3 on Apple TV Plus.
Heading into theaters tomorrow, we have Honey Don't.
We also have Relay in theaters.
We also have Nizza 2 in theaters.
We have Eden coming out in limited release.
And closing out August 22nd, we also have Eeny Meeny on Hulu. Eeny Meeny Miny Mo, catch a bitch by her tongue.
Is she
If
held it? Is she
she
held
had let her
it?
go.
We
She's
didn't even go with the
losing.
original Eeny Meeny Miny Moe. We went with the Justin Bieber.
Well, duh.
On August 25th, we have Love Island Season 7 reunion on Peacock.
And closing us out today on August 27th, we have Almost Popular in limited release. Well, that is the end of our show today. Thank you so, so much for sticking around and hanging out with us to chat about The Summer I Turned Pretty, Taylor Swift, movies, TV show, music, and more. As always, we'll be back next week at the same time. So until then, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gracie, and you can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.